Hi and welcome back to David Tom Creations channel. Today I am doing another MicroFreak video, and this one is going to be a bit more in depth as I only did the unboxing and kind of played a bit of the first preset in the first video. The first thing, I'll just quickly go over some of the controls. So if we start up here in this corner, we have the mod matrix, and you control that by this knob. Adjust this to either the pitch, the wave, timbre, cutoff, and then you have assign buttons for these three, and then you can scroll down so it goes cycle envelope, LFO, pressure, and key ARP. So once you kind of want to set up something in the matrix, you can press that in, and then you use this to control the amount. So and that's it, and then you click again, and that should be it set. So if I'm in actually dark stream, I'll do another video on this in more detail. Like I said, this is just kind of going over, the kind of main controls. There's the paraphonic button, so you can switch that off or on. So it's a mono synth, but you can play up to 4 keys at once. So this is dark stream. So I can play basically a kind of pad. So it's quite nice. This panel button is, if you press that, then that preset will take on whatever the position of the controls are on the panel, because obviously normally the preset will retain whatever the control settings were when it was saved, and then you can hit panel and it will adjust to whatever the actual controls are at that time. You've got your preset, so I've got it set to auto load, so you can either have it so that you press into load. You've got your save button for saving your presets, and you've got your utility button that goes through the various categories so that you can do things with the settings. There's not an awful lot to do as far as setting it up is concerned. This is your master volume, and I'm on about 12 o'clock on the master volume, and I'm 12 o'clock on my Focusrite. The only thing is, if I was using my headphones, it's very quiet on the headphones, so you have to whack the master volume right up, certainly on my headphones. But normally it's putting out a pretty strong signal, and like I said, we're just halfway basically on the Focusrite. Glide button, you've got the oscillator type, so there's I think 11 different types of oscillator, so I'll go through that on a separate video. These 3 buttons are the wave, the timbre, and the shape. Yeah, so the wave, the timbre, and the shape relate to whichever, depending on the preset. So, for instance, this one is changing the wave to square, triangle, sine. So it's saw wave, and then the timbre is adjusting the detune. You can't see, but it does tell you down here that it's detune. And then you get numbers going up to whatever it would be, 100, and then this is the shape, which is basically the volume. And like I said, this will change depending on the preset. And later on, I will go through some of the presets. We've got the type of analog filter, so we've got low pass, band pass, and high pass. And then we've got cutoff and resonance, and you get a little waveform on the screen. And then we've got the cycling envelope, and then there's 3 modes. There's envelope, run, and loop. And then I'll kind of go over that on another video probably as well. It doesn't have a huge effect on a lot of the presets. Certainly I've found it kind of links to the mod matrix. So the first one on the cycling envelope is the first one on the mod matrix, so it kind of relates to that, and if there's nothing really selected then it doesn't do an awful lot. There's your octave buttons, so we go up 3, down 3, back to 0. The shift button you don't really use much, it relates to the sequence swing. So the main one you use is to put on the sequence, and most of the presets have a sequence built in, or they have 2 sequences built in. So if I hit play, this is the pre-recorded sequence for this preset. So I'll kind of go over this probably in another video, but this one has an A and a B, so that is for the preset patterns. So this is pattern B, that's pattern A, and it says sequence A loaded, and these are basically all to do with the ARP and also the sequencer. And like I said, I'll probably do another video on those as well. But it's quite straightforward. You can just press on the ARP 4 octaves. So like I said, it's quite straightforward. That's your rate and your swing, and depending on you can control the ARP and the sequencer with that, and it's also, you can also sync it to the main tempo, and then we've got 6 shapes. We've got sine, got triangle, saw, square, and then 2 random ones. I can't remember what the difference is, but there's 2 kind of random waves, and then you've got your amp envelope. So you've got your attack, delay, so you can see that's the attack. You've got your decay release, and then you've got your sustain, and then you've got your filter amount. So I'll just turn this up a bit. And then it goes from 0 to negative 100 or plus 100. So that says on 0. And that's controlling the cutoff. And you can see that save button flashes if you've changed something, and you get a little asterisk to say that you've changed the preset. So if we go back, it'll go back and it takes the asterisk off, and that's it reset to dark stream. They've also got a pitch bend, so if you want to use a pitch bend, that is the middle, and then you go down or up. So which is quite cool. Like I said, this is a really nice preset, dark stream. It's kind of this, you get some quite nice kind of grungy sounds with it, because it is a digital synth, but it has an analog filter, so you kind of getting a bit of a hybrid kind of sound to it. And the keyboard, I kind of briefly mentioned in the unboxing that it is quite shiny. You really can't see the kind of circuit board part of it, but it's really cool. It does take a while to get used to it, because depending on the preset, it will react completely differently. So if you just put your fingertip on it, and then you kind of roll it, and depending on sometimes on how you release. So if I release quickly, you can hear that's kind of, and then slowly you get a different. So it's really, like, really sensitive to your touch. It's very cool. I'm not quite sure why somebody else hasn't copied this and done another, like a bigger version, because this on a, because it is quite small. It's freaking tiny. That's my keyboard, so you can see it's shorter than my keyboard. So yeah, I mean, you can see, yeah, it's about the same size as a normal keyboard without the numerics. So yeah, it's very small, and I have got quite big hands, as you can see. So yeah, so it's a bit tricky, but yeah, it's like, and it will take you a while to get used to it. But it's, you know, it's like anything. It's, you can just play around with it. Now this is why I've picked Darkstream, because it does kind of give you like I said, a good idea of how sensitive it is to pressure. So yeah, so that is your kind of basic controls, and on the back, I kind of did go over what we've got on the back. So you've got your main output, you've got a 3.5, so that's either for your full-size headphones, and that is, you've got your 3.5mm headphone jack, you've got CV gates, you've got the clock, you've got the MIDI in out, you've got your USB power, you've got your off-on switch, and then you've got your DC power with the PSU. And like I said, I've got this going into Logic and then outputting it as a stereo track. As I kind of mentioned, in version 4, the number of presets has gone up substantially. So like I said, you're now getting 384 preset slots with 328 factory presets, and 304 to 320 are purely for when you're using a vocoder mic. So they don't work just with the keyboard, and then 321 to 384 are inits. So that's a substantial upgrade. And the other main thing they added was the ability to import your own wavetables using the software. And I will look at the software in another video as well, probably when I'm doing some of the other bits and pieces, like you know, this art section or something. I'll have a look at the software. So yeah, so this is Chord Bass. So you think, right, so it's not working. There's something wrong with the preset. But no, you just have to put the tip of your finger. So this is the thing. Yeah, sometimes you think, what? Hang on, what the shit's wrong with this? And then you realise that you just need less skin. So yeah, so like I said, I'm just showing you that one to see, because nothing happens. It's weird. Right, this is quite a nice organ. There's a real mix. So you've got, you know, like SFX, pads, sequences, bass, quite a few bass, keys, strings, whatever. What am I on? 49. Oh, I've gone past it. Here we go. Sci Organ. So this is keys. So this is just monophonic, so I can switch this on. Adjust the cutoff. So we can see, so you've got waveform, so we can adjust the waveform. So it goes up in the octave, so it's got, so that's fifth, you've got sustained fourth. Major seventh. major ninth, minor, 69, and major ninth. That can't be right. 69, what the hell, 69? And major ninth. It goes right up, back up to major seventh. Quite like sustained fourth. And then the timbre is going to adjust the transpose, but the invert transpose. And then the shape's going to adjust the intensity of the waveform. So we'll take that. So yeah, so that's quite nice. So this is over me, this is a sequence. And you can see that's automatically come on. So this is pattern A on the sequence, so there should be another one as well. And let's see what we're... so this is the morph that's adjusting. So this is the basic waveform. And I'm going to go through all the different waveforms again in another video because I don't want this to go on too long. So this is adjusting, the shape is adjusting the sub. And the timbre is adjusting the symmetry, whatever that is. So yeah, so that's a sequence. There's a strings one, 183. The only problem is you can't search by type, which would have been quite useful to being able to, if you know, like, you know, filter it by strings or pads or whatever. This is JP strings, and it's paraphonic. That's the B tune, and the wave is going to change the wave type. So that's saw, square, triangle. So it's on saw. Change it to square. It's triangle. Back to saw. And this is using the super wave. Better. Make it a bit wider. And I was going to get a bass actually. There's one called Sausage Bass, which is particularly grungy. 10, 11, 12. That's quite cool as well. Back to 9. Kind of cool bass. Right, so that is it for today's overview and quick kind of sound demo. And like I said, there's going to be more videos. I'm going to do one on the ARP sequencer section and the mod matrix possibly, and try and figure out the cycling envelope to see how that works. Hook this up with some of my other gear and do some live stuff with possibly the Roland TR8S. Right, thanks for watching. As usual, if you are enjoying these videos, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.